In this video, we're going to be converting improper fractions into mixed numbers. So here is an example. If you have an improper fraction, like 7/2, it's improper because the denominator is smaller than the numerator. It would be a proper fraction if the numerator was smaller than the denominator. But that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is this improper fraction. We have to change that into a mixed number. Or we need the skill to do it. Here's how you do it. Pretty simple. The first way is you can just use simple division, because what this really says is 7 divided by 2. You can think of that middle line as the division. So in reality, this is 7 divided by 2. Meaning, how many times does 2 go into 7? Well, it goes into 7 3 times, because 3 times 2 is 6. And 7 minus 6 is 1. When you get to this point, all you do is you take this number, you put it behind the 3, or the number you got up here, draw a line, and then you put this number as the denominator. So the mixed number would be 3 and 1/2. So that's how you go from an improper fraction to a mixed number. You just simply divide. The other way is to go from a mixed number, 3 and 1/2, to an improper fraction. And how would you do that? Simple. What you do is you take the denominator, you multiply it by the whole number, this big number, and that answer, which is going to be in this case 6, right? 2 times 3 is 6. You take that answer and you add it to the numerator, and you get 6 plus 1, which is 7. And then you take this denominator and you put it under here. And so we get returned back to 7/2, just like we started with. Now, visually what's going on is that you have 7 1/2s, or 7 halves. Well, what does that mean? Well, here's a whole thing, right? Let's say it's a cake. If you cut it in halves, this would be literally 1/2, or 1 out of 2. What they're saying is that you don't have one of those, you have 7 of these, or 7 halves. You have 7 halves, a half times 7. So what you do is you just count 7 halves. So that's 1/2. Those are 2 halves. We do it again. There's 3 halves. I'm sorry. There are 3 halves. Those are 4 halves. That's 5 halves, or 5 1/2s. That's 6 1/2s. And I can't just draw one more to make it 7. I have to have equal groups. So here's 7 halves, okay? So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 halves. Now the question is, how does that translate into 3 and 1/2? Well, what we're talking about is 3 wholes, right? So here's the first whole, that's 1. Here's the second whole, that's 2. Here's the third whole, that's 3. So that counts for the 3. And the last is the 1/2. That 1/2 is this last remaining 1/2 over here. So it's literally 3 and 1/2. And that's it. Converting improper fractions to mixed numbers, and then converting mixed numbers backwards into improper fractions. And here's the visual way to do it.